Tonight, in a striking move, the Justice Department abandoning the federal criminal charges that had loomed over now President-elect Trump in Washington and Florida for more than a year. Special counsel Jack Smith saying his decision does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of the prosecution. But the DOJ has a long-standing policy against prosecuting a sitting president. The department believes the Constitution requires dismissing the cases before the defendant is inaugurated. The judge in Washington signing off on that today. The move by Smith, while expected, a notable defeat after launching a pair of historic cases, a first of their kind against a former president.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
The Trump team calling today's dismissals a major victory for the rule of law, as the president-elect had made his criminal exposure a centerpiece of his campaign.
I'm being indicted for you. Don't worry about these fake indictments. It's actually driven our poll numbers way up.
Mr. Trump often railing against Smith.
I would fire him within 2 seconds.
Smith expected to step down on his own soon, his cases never getting close to trial, stymied in appeals. In Washington, the Supreme Court finding Mr. Trump immune for some of his efforts to overturn the 2020 election, while in Florida, a federal judge found Smith was wrongly appointed, dismissing the accusations Mr. Trump unlawfully ordered associates to keep classified documents at Mar-a-Lago after he left office.
And Laura joined me now. So the federal cases, that's been written. What about the state cases still out there?
Yes, Lester, real questions about whether that election interference case in Georgia can move forward. It's been bogged down on an appeal over an alleged ethical conflict with the DA there. And then in New York, we wait to see what the judge here does with a dismissal, potentially, of the entire conviction for Mr. Trump.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.